is up? GoodMicWork back at you finally after a short hiatus. Thank you so much to everyone for your patience over the last couple of months. It's been a crazy transition as I've been moving. I actually technically moved twice in an 8-week span. So I'm back now. This is going to be a quick one. I'm going to be back up later in the week, probably early on Thursday, super late on Wednesday night, giving a very long and very in-depth commentary. I'll probably get into some of the things I missed, as well as reviews on Raw and SmackDown and a lot of other things as well. So that commentary will probably go pretty long. Before I get into the results of the pay-per-view, just want to let you guys know that if you stick around until the end, I will talk about a couple of other things, including an update on my WrestleMania Memories video, which was actually taken down, and a couple of thoughts on the latest rumors involving WWE and TNA. As far as No Mercy tonight goes, I gotta say it was a pretty good show and a very interesting show. Now, I wasn't able to do a predictions video on this, as you guys know. However, if I had, I probably would have gotten a few of these matches wrong tonight. Probably a lot of them wrong. I was surprised with a lot of what they did. They surprised us with the opening match being the triple threat match for the WWE title. They basically moved the main event from the end of the card to the beginning of the card, and I can only assume that was done because No Mercy was going head-to-head with the second presidential debate, and the first debate had like 80 million viewers or something like that, and of course the fallout from Donald Trump's comments that he made 12 years ago just happened a couple of days ago, so probably even more eyeballs were going to be on that debate than normal. Plus, it's also Sunday Night Football, and WWE was up against a ton of competition, so I'm thinking they wanted to get the World Heavyweight title out of the way before the debate started, because I don't think the debate started until the second hour of the pay-per-view. So that's the only thing I could think of. A lot of people were saying that they could do like a double title match type of situation like they did 10 years ago at No Mercy, I think in 2007. Randy Orton and Triple H, I think, were involved in that. I vaguely remember what they did, but a lot of people were thinking if they're going to open the match with the World Heavyweight title, maybe have Cena win and get his 16th title, maybe win in a shady way. AJ freaks out and demands a rematch, and Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon, because they're innovative GMs, they grant him that wish and book another title match for later on where AJ wins the belt back. I would have been okay with that, but I really didn't see anything crazy like that happening. I just thought the WWE wanted to move the main event away from the conclusion of the presidential debate. So the match we had in the ring was pretty good. I'm not a gigantic fan of Cena or Ambrose in the ring, as most of you guys know. The match was what it was. I thought it was decent, some good spots. All three guys worked hard. And a really interesting kind of finish. I like the way both Ambrose and John Cena had AJ tapping out. Cena had him in the STF, and Ambrose had him in whatever the hell his move is called. And AJ basically taps out to both. And they decide that because AJ tapped out and you can't really determine the winner, that the match would just restart, which is fine with me, but there's no set of rules for how this all goes down. I mean, we've seen some double finishes before, double pins, and WWE just kind of makes the rules up as they go along. Sometimes we see co-winners. Sometimes we see the match restarted. Sometimes we see it just end in a tie, and then they figure it out the next night on Raw. Sometimes we even see co-champions, as we saw with Chris Jericho and Chyna all those years ago. So WWE can never decide what the hell they want to do. So this time around, even though AJ technically taps out and he lost the WWE title, he's still the champ. The match continues, and he winds up bringing a chair into the ring and whacking Cena and ends up pinning Dean Ambrose for the win, and he retains the title. So that is fine with me. I am a huge AJ Styles fan. I could not be happier with his performance so far in the WWE this past 9 months, and they've put the world title on him, and he wears it like a boss, and he has the utmost confidence in his ability, and I think the WWE has that in him as well. And he's making a great champion, and he is a wonderful addition on the roster. Probably the best acquisition WWE has made in a very long time. The fallout from this, I'm sure, is going to see some sort of a rematch with probably both John Cena and Dean Ambrose for AJ Styles. I don't know if that'll be on separate occasions or if they will do another triple threat match at whatever the hell their next pay-per-view is. I guess it would be Survivor Series. Hell in the Cell is the next Raw one. But they got a lot of TV time to figure some stuff out, so I'm sure there might be some more title matches on SmackDown. We've already seen one or two of those already since the brand split, so we might even see more. As far as Cena goes and when or if he's going to break that record, obviously, you know he will tie Ric Flair at some point. I'm glad that they chose not to do it tonight. I think it's way too early in AJ Styles' title run to turn around and give it to Cena right now. If they want to give it to Cena later on at the Royal Rumble or something like that, it is announced that it will be back in San Antonio for the 20-year anniversary of the last time that it was in the Alamo Dome, and they plan to fill this big stadium, so they have to have some big-time matches. And if they do another Cena and AJ and Cena's going or for the record or tying the record or something like that, that could be one of their big matches. Goldberg has been rumored to be set to face Brock Lesnar either at Survivor Series or possibly the Royal Rumble. So there's a lot of things that can happen for that show, but very interesting news, not to get sidetracked here, about the Royal Rumble, and then it will be back in San Antonio. It will be nice to see Shawn Michaels and Sid make some sort of an appearance. That whole show was drawn based on the fact that Shawn Michaels, the hometown boy, was going back to challenge for the WWE title. It was a heavily papered show. They had to give a lot of tickets away, but they put like 60,000 people in there. So WWE clearly wants to break that record. So Shawn, not to say that he's going to wrestle or anything like that, but I definitely think he needs to make some sort of an appearance or have a presence on this show for sure. But getting back to No Mercy and getting back to John Cena, I'm glad to see, like I said, that they're holding off giving him that 16th and 17th world title reign, which inevitably will happen. We know that at some point. But right now, it's AJ Styles' time, and I'm having a blast watching him. Now, I will be honest, I was paying attention to the debate as well as trying to watch No Mercy, so a lot of these matches I was eyeballing. I put a picture up on Twitter with my setup in my studio, and I literally have 5 monitors of shit going. So I had Twitter going, I had the pay-per-view going, I had the debate going, I had Sunday Night Football going, I had all sorts of shit going. And so I was watching, but I really wasn't analyzing these matches very deeply. So just to blow through some of the undercard matches, we did see Heath Slater and Rhino successfully defend the tag team titles against the Usos. I kind of thought the Usos would take it with their new heel persona, Rhino kind of being a part-timer. I think him and Slater were winning the belts just to give Slater the contract. Now that he's got it and Rhino is involved in politics, they might want to get the belt off of him and go their separate ways or whatever. So I kind of thought the Usos would win the titles here, but they did not. Slater and Rhino lived to fight another day, and they retained the titles. And at the end of the day, I'm happy for Heath Slater. I like him. I think he's doing a good job, and not too terribly disappointed about that. But I do think the Usos should grab those belts and prepare to feud with American Alpha in the future. We saw Baron Corbin defeat Jack Swagger. Alexa Bliss lost tonight. However, she did not lose to Becky Lynch. It was announced that Becky Lynch has some sort of an injury that's going to cause her to be out of action for about 3 to 4 weeks. They announced this on the pre-show. Daniel Bryan and Shane brought in Alexa Bliss to tell her that Becky would not be competing, but that Alexa Bliss would still have a match at No Mercy, and she would also get that women's title shot on November 8th in Scotland. So SmackDown is going to be coming from Scotland, I think in Glasgow, on November 8th, which is election night here in the United States. And I had mentioned in a previous commentary that I was really curious how they were going to handle SmackDown. It would be really tough for SmackDown to go live here in this country on election day. There's just too much going on. Everybody's out voting. Everybody's glued to the TV to watch how it all goes. Nobody, number one, would be watching SmackDown, and a lot of people at SmackDown who work there might want to be paying attention to this fucking circus as well. So, to me, I wasn't sure how it's going to work. But now it appears that SmackDown will not be live. It'll be SmackDown taped. I don't know if it's going to be Raw and SmackDown joint show. Maybe they'll tape Raw and SmackDown on Monday and then air Raw on a tape delay and then SmackDown a day later. I don't know how it's going to work, but it does appear that SmackDown will be taped on election night, which is something that I've been really curious about. So Alexa Bliss gets the title shot when Becky comes back next month, and tonight she had to face Naomi, who was kind of a surprise opponent for her, and Naomi ended up getting the victory, which I'm fine with. Naomi's kind of fun. Her outfit and entrance is a little bizarre, but she's good. Nikki Bella scored a victory as well in another women's match, defeating Carmella. They've been feuding pretty heavily. And did you notice Nikki Bella wearing the jorts just like John Cena? I have not yet checked out Total Bellas. I don't know if I can. If somebody just wants to send me, I don't know, still screenshots of Nikki in a bikini on that show or something like that, I won't complain. But as far as whether or not I check it out and actually watch it, I don't know if who I am as a person will allow me to do that. So I'll just play that by ear on whether or not I check out Total Bellas. But haven't seen it at all. Nikki's back as a babyface, and she might eventually, get a run with the belt as well. I wouldn't be surprised. Glad to see they didn't strip Becky and then just turn around and give it to Nikki or something like that. It's nice to see that they're going to allow Becky to keep the title and keep defending it, which I think is the right decision and a smart move. And for now, Nikki Bella can continue doing other things, and Becky can hopefully have a lengthy title run, provided she stays healthy, that is. Now, the final two major matches on the card was, number one, Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz for the Intercontinental title, career versus title. When it was announced that the WWE title would be defended in the opening match of the pay-per-view, we all assumed that the Intercontinental title match, the title versus career match, would be the main event. The Miz has been fucking awesome on TV lately, and Dolph Ziggler, we all know what he can do, and this story tied in with him potentially leaving the WWE or being forced to retire if he loses. I could not think of a better match to put in the main event if it wasn't going to be the world title. But no, I cannot believe that they did not make this match the main event. I cannot fucking believe it. However, it didn't matter because it was still an awesome match. It stole the show easily. Yes, Dolph and The Miz should have been the final match, but they more than made up for it with the story that was told in the ring, with everything that was going on, and the drama involved, the crowd involvement. Everything was great. I actually, started paying attention to that match more than the debate when it was going on because it was so good and so compelling, and I loved literally every minute of it, and definitely a show stealer. And to see Dolph Ziggler pick up the win, I think we all thought that maybe Dolph Ziggler was going to actually be leaving WWE. His frustrations that we've been seeing on TV are very, very real. He never seems to get the opportunity. He's overlooked time and time and time again. And there's also been rumors of WWE maybe wanting to transition him out of the ring and into a more ambassador role, possibly having him work as a trainer or an agent or producer or something like that, which to me is weird because Dolph is still relatively young. I mean, he can wrestle for a long time. He's in great shape, he's incredibly athletic, and he's really good in the ring. To take a piece of talent like that off of your roster and think that he can be better utilized backstage. I mean, the guy, he's not the Brooklyn Brawler. I mean, Dolph Ziggler can go. So I always found that rumor a little bit surprising. Not that Dolph wouldn't make a great trainer, great producer, or a great ambassador, or any of that stuff, because he always carries himself very well, and he's a really good guy to send on outside projects and stuff like that. But to me, he's still got a long road ahead of him inside of the ring. So it was nice to see him win tonight. He just kept surviving time and time again. The Miz was cheating his ass off. Maurice sprayed him in the eyes with shit again. He kept kicking out. He kept fighting. He kept clawing and scratching, and eventually was able to defeat the Miz when the Spirit Squad, my fucking mind was almost blown to see Kenny and whoever the hell else it was, Mikey or whoever the fuck, show up out there. I was like, oh my god, Dolph Ziggler's last match, he's going to lose with the Spirit Squad interfering, but he survived that as well and eventually nailed The Miz, I think, did he hit him with the super kick? How the hell did the match even end? I forget. But the pinfall was great. The crowd went nuts. Dolph Ziggler celebrated in the ring, had his big moment, won another Intercontinental title. I think this is his 5th Intercontinental title run. So that should have definitely been the main event. It would have helped the importance of that title. And it's a shame that they missed their opportunity because that was an awesome match and a great story, and I loved everything about it. A lot of people wanted to see The Miz win. A lot of people want to see Dolph Ziggler leave. I don't know why. To me, that's just mind-blowing. A lot of people are like, oh, fuck this guy. We're so sick of him. He needs to get the hell out of there. I just want what's best for Dolph Ziggler. If leaving the WWE is what's best for him, then I support him 1 zillion%. But to hate the guy or something, to me, it just seems weird. I don't know what he's ever done other than work his ass off in the ring that would warrant any hate from the fans. So a lot of people wanted to see The Miz win. If The Miz did win and Dolph left, I still would have been fine with that because Dolph might have been happier leaving WWE. And The Miz is on such a roll. The more he keeps winning, the happier I'm going to be. So there is a big part of me that is a little bit sad to see the Intercontinental title run of The Miz come to an end because he was doing a great job with that belt. And who knows, that might have just been a swerve. And Dolph could eventually still wind up leaving. And then maybe The Miz is so mad he comes out on SmackDown and challenges him again for a rematch for the title and says, I'll put my career on the line, you put your career on the line. You know, there can only be one of us in the WWE. It's only big enough for one of us. And maybe Dolph Ziggler winds up going out that way at the next pay-per-view, a Survivor Series or whatever. But I kind of hope he sticks around. I have no desire to see Dolph Ziggler leave. I think he's great, and I'm glad he won tonight, and I hope he sticks around long term. And of course, now we are on to the actual main event of the show, and they chose to make that Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton. Now, normally, I would probably be okay with Bray and Randy main eventing a show if there wasn't such an important title match also on the card. That career versus title match was a pretty big deal. If it weren't for that Intercontinental title match, then yeah, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, fine, whatever, who cares? But I was just a little bit disappointed by it, and these guys didn't even come close to following The Miz and Dolph Ziggler. Not nearly as exciting of a match, but I did like the outcome, because one thing I was worried about, and I have nothing against Randy Orton. I actually defend Randy Orton. I always have his back. Nobody ever wants to see him win. He gets a lot of the similar type of heat that guys like John Cena get. But for me, I don't mind Randy Orton being the star that he is. But I also don't like to see Bray Wyatt get shit on time and time again. And every single match that he's had, every single feud that he's had with a major WWE star like John Cena, Roman Reigns, guys like that, he's come out on the losing end of. And with this feud with Randy Orton, I didn't really see it ending any differently. However, there was the one possibility that he would have some help. Now, we all did hear the rumors that Luke Harper is pretty much ready to go. So it was kind of rumored that he could appear tonight. And during the conclusion of the match, the creepy Wyatt lights went out. They came back on, and Luke Harper is standing right there in the middle of the ring, right behind Randy Orton, gives him that crazy look. Bray Wyatt comes up, nails Randy Orton with Sister Abigail, gets the pin, and wins the match. So I am fine with Bray Wyatt winning. Having the interference and the help from Luke Harper, gives him a victory, and it doesn't really hurt Randy Orton any. So if Randy Orton would have just gone out there and RKO'd and pinned Bray Wyatt, that wouldn't have done anybody any favors at all. So with the outcome like this, I'm happy about it, and it's good to see Luke Harper back. I'm a big fan of his. The fans popped hard when they saw him. Did you notice that? I think a lot of the fans like Luke Harper as well. I think we all do. And it was cool to see him and Bray Wyatt embrace at the end of the match. So you got to wonder if the original Wyatt family now is going to be put back together. I'm really glad they put Luke Harper on SmackDown instead of Raw. SmackDown is a much better place for him. So to have the original Wyatts all back together there, maybe they can recreate some of the domination they had when they first came in. I wouldn't complain about seeing that. All in all, I think considering what No Mercy was up against tonight, the show delivered. I wasn't expecting anything great out of it. I mean, hell, it even ended super early, didn't it? It was only 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 40 minutes maybe, something like that. So it didn't even go that long. But I think a couple of the matches on the show delivered enough to make the show okay, especially that Intercontinental title match with Dolph Ziggler and The Miz. So I will give this pay-per-view a grade of C+, I guess. So I will elaborate more on the SmackDown brand this week. Like I said, I didn't really see much of Raw or SmackDown last week, just a few highlights. So I will catch myself up. I will watch Raw tomorrow night. I will be live tweeting. If you guys want to join me on Twitter, just follow me at GoodMicWork. I will be up watching Raw live. And then I'll check out SmackDown the next night, although I will not see it live. And then late Wednesday or early on Thursday, you will have a joint review of both shows. Plus, I will get into a ton of other wrestling news and results and possibly fallout from No Mercy, a look ahead to Hell in the Cell, and anything else that might be going on in WWE. Before I get out of here tonight, I do want to let you guys know just a quick update on the WrestleMania Memories video. I tweeted about this. I put it on Facebook. I put it on my website. I put it everywhere. Most of you already know this. It was taken down by WWE. It was auto-detected by their system or whatever, and that was a big video for me. Probably the most successful video I've ever done. Had over 100,000 views on it. It was plugged by the Solomonster on his podcast a few months back, and it's got amazing feedback. But I always knew that there was a possibility that it could get taken down, because videos like that sometimes do. The footage I used was completely silent. It was cropped down. It was just used as reference to go along with what I was talking about. I thought it would be safe and be it would be okay under the terms of fair use, but I still knew that WWE could potentially take it down if they saw it. They did. I did appeal it. I've had a video taken down. I've had a couple of videos taken down here or there. None of them have ever hurt my channel. I didn't get a copyright strike for this. I'm not in any trouble, by the way. It was just a video that WWE wouldn't allow on YouTube. So you can appeal it. and WWE had 30 days to respond to the appeal, and if they don't, the video stays up. They responded to it right away and said, no, it's got to be taken down, we're sorry. And I could even appeal that as well. However, if I do that, and I appeal the decision again, and then it's denied, I could get a copyright strike on my account, and it's just not worth it. So, unfortunately, that video has been taken down. I do want to thank everybody for the awesome support and the great feedback they gave me on that video. Never fear, it will be making a return. I'm just going to kind of re-edit it. I'm going to work on that in the next couple of weeks. I'm just going to swap out all the video footage with pictures, maybe eliminate the introduction, and just re-upload it. And yeah, it's even possible I'm going to toy with the idea now that WrestleMania is on the horizon in just another few months here. Maybe I will wait until February and I will re-upload it during WrestleMania time again, and I will include my review and my memories of WrestleMania 32 from this past year. So that could potentially be something that I do, but if I get motivated just to go ahead and finish it out, I'll give it to you sooner than that. But there is a possibility I might wait a little longer. I just have to decide how I want to do it. Hopefully, for those of you that like the video the most, you had a chance to grab it or download it or something like that where you can continue to watch it. A lot of people have suggested that I upload my videos to other sites. There's that Vimeo or whatever that one is called, Vimeo, something like that. There's a Dailymotion. I'll look into that. It's possible. But right now I just kind of stick to YouTube. So I'm going to re-edit the WrestleMania Memories video at some point and get it re-uploaded to you, just minus the video footage. As far as what else there is to talk about, nothing new, I guess, right now on the WWE and TNA front. TNA did run their Bound for Glory pay-per-view, which I have yet to check out, but I know the Hardy Boys were involved in that. I did see that really cool entrance with Rebby playing the piano and Jeff singing and all that. That was creepy and awesome all at the same time. They weren't even sure 2 days before the event if the event was even going to take place. So TNA is in a world of shit right now. There were some rumors because WWE has been rumored to be negotiating with them and giving them lowball offers and shit like that. But possibly WWE could just buy the tape library and the tape library only. And then Billy Corgan would buy the rest of TNA and then rebrand it under a different name. And that could be great for WWE. It would be a great investment. I mean, the turnaround and the money they would make off an AJ Styles DVD alone, they could probably break even on that purchase. So I think if there's an opportunity for them to grab that tape library, considering they have AJ there, they have Samoa Joe, Bobby Roode, so many other TNA guys are in WWE right now and NXT, having that footage would be, you know, that stuff could be worth a lot of money, especially when it comes to documentaries, video packages, DVDs, things like that. So if WWE can grab that footage, it would be awesome. If not, I really hope TNA continues one way or the other. It would be nice for Billy Corgan to be able to keep it, so if he's going to have a brand new company, it can at least have a legacy, and they can show the lineage of guys and titles and some of the people that have been there. So I think a lot of that history could be valuable for a rebranded TNA, but at the same time, it could be very valuable to WWE. So Dixie Carter is a big roadblock in a lot of this, from what I understand. She's got ownership, and there's lots of legal BS and red tape to kind of get through to get this company sold, and she just might not want to do it. So it doesn't sound good for TNA at all. It really hasn't sounded good for them in a couple of years, and they're just barely hanging on by literally a fucking thread. Hopefully maybe Ring of Honor can merge with them or something. There's also been talk of that. As long as it doesn't go to WWE and they close it down. You know, I don't mind if WWE buys a tape library as long as a wrestling company with some TNA history involved can continue. If Billy Corgan buys it and rebrands it, at least it's still a promotion that guys can go and get jobs. If WWE buys it outright, you know they're going to close its doors, cherry pick a couple of talent they want, and that's it. So I think it would be in professional wrestling's best interest for TNA to continue in any way they can, no matter who buys the company. So that company needs to get its shit together one way or the other, and I hope they do. So anyway, that is it for me. Sorry, this was just a short commentary talking about No Mercy. Like I said, I will talk about a lot more on Thursday. It's going to be a pretty long commentary with lots to discuss. So leave me all your thoughts and comments on No Mercy, what you thought of the show, what kind of a grade you gave it. And for those of you that have been asking, I will eventually give some comments on the presidential election. I want to stay away from those comments as much as possible. You guys know I'm not a Donald Trump fan. As we get closer here, maybe I'll make a few comments about it, but I'm not going to go into too much detail because this is a wrestling channel. You guys come here for wrestling, and I'm not going to rock that boat. But with a situation as big and as major as the presidential election is, it's kind of hard to ignore, so I will be making some comments on it at some point during the month of October. So I will, if you want to hear my comments on that, just stay patient. I will eventually talk a little bit of politics as we get closer to the election. But once the election is over and all the Trump and Pence signs are in the dumpster and we're moving on with Hillary as president, I'll be able to breathe much easier. So I will catch you guys in just a couple of days. Thank you again for listening. Until next time, peace.